So the debut edition of Monday Night Nitro, which Tony just said was one of the most important shows in the history of the business, happened at the Mall of America in Minnesota. Interestingly enough, the final edition of that so important piece of wrestling history happened in a hotel courtyard. If those bookends don't tell you a lot about the story of Nitro, I don't know what will. Let's talk about the Mall of America. We mentioned earlier that the first plan was an arena in Miami, but somehow we wind up in Minnesota instead. Do you remember why Minnesota was the choice for a company that made its home in the South? It seems like an odd choice.
I don't think so. I think if you wanted it to be a national show, get out of the South for a little bit. I mean, I'm sure that same line has been used in the offices of NASCAR many, many times. We were a Southern promotion. We wanted to be a national promotion. Let's take it away from the South, at least on our debut. And why not the Mall of America? And in reality, hell, it worked. It really worked, I thought, that very first one. I mean, it would have been great to say, we're coming to you from the Forum in Los Angeles and showing a sellout there, or one of the big venues around the country. But I think getting out of the South for your debut was the right move.
Bischoff wrote in his book, this was the very first Nitro out of the box, and I wasn't sure I could put enough people in the arena to make it look good. The worst thing in the world that could have happened was to go into the Target Center in Minneapolis and only put 3,500 people in the arena. But holding it in the Mall of America, in the atrium, with 3 different levels of people looking down, kind of looked like the Roman Coliseum. That made it different and better. It worked. It just worked.
It did. It really worked. And it was a unique look. If you go back and look at it, people going up and down the escalators watching wrestling, the fans were into it, and it just worked.
Do you have any idea why it was the Mall of America?
I do not.
Can I freestyle a conspiracy theory for you?
I love that. I love your bullshit. Go ahead.
Before I get going here, Tony, I feel like I should state clearly for the record that I have nothing but great respect and admiration for Hulk Hogan. I grew up a Hulkamaniac. I am only a wrestling fan because I was introduced to Hulk Hogan on television. And when I had the opportunity to meet Hulk Hogan in real life, he could not have been more polite, respectful, gracious. He's an awesome dude. I will forever be a Hulk Hogan fan. However, every now and again on the show, we're going to examine the dirt. This is the dirt. We're going to talk about some stuff that was public record, and then we're going to freestyle around it and try to piece together some stuff. And in the process, but I want to state clearly, I wasn't there. I have no direct knowledge of anything. I read newsletters. I read books. I read press releases. I'm piecing it together here. I'm not saying this happened. Can't state this clearly enough. But let's take a look. Let's beat it up. The very first Hulk Hogan restaurant, Pastamania,
right,
was in the Mall of America.
Yep.
And they were trying to make a big push. Mm-hmm. And everything here starts to look and feel very Hogan-esque to me. If I was a wrestling fan who was a conspiracy theorist, because you've got a replay of Nitro, and as buffers for Nitro, there's reruns of Thunder in Paradise. Yeah. We're doing our debut show in a place where Hogan has just opened his first franchise of Pastamania using his likeness. Right. We're going to do a cameo in that show featuring Hogan surrounded by kids in front of Pastamania.
Right. Saw that.
And we're going to make sure that when Luger comes back, who's the hot angle on the show, yeah, he is immediately programmed with Hulk Hogan. This feels like it has Hulk's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah. I guess, and also Hogan started in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Became Hulk Hogan in Minneapolis. That's pretty good as far as conspiracy theory is concerned. Although, if you really wanted to promote the Pastamania, you probably could have done a little bit better than that. Remember, at Pastamania, you rule. You choose the sauce. You choose the pasta. You choose the cheese.
Is that not nothing but noodles, brother?
Yeah, but I remember that. I ate at Pastamania like a day before.
How was it?
Yeah, it was okay. If I recall, I didn't, look at me. I haven't turned down much food. That's pretty good theory. I would think that's pretty good theory.
Now, let me ask something uncomfortable here.
Oh, Lord.
Kate Kennedy. You got anything for me?
Kate Kennedy?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Kate Kennedy was a woman who sued Hulk Hogan for sexual battery and demanded a bunch of cash.
Okay.
And
around what time?
She worked in public relations for Pastamania at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Okay. So, anyway.
And Linda Hogan wrote about it in her book that when she went to the opening of Pastamania, she sees this woman and thinks it's odd how many questions she's asking Linda about her relationship with Hulk. What's it like being married to Hulk Hogan, blah, blah, blah. And then the day before Christmas, 1995, a courier arrives and serves Hogan. Hogan runs to the room, locks the door. A few days later, breaks the news after a few moody, tense days. This is all Linda's testimony in her book. And eventually, Hogan has to go on the offense, and he actually sues the lady and her attorney. And that lawsuit from Hogan's side starts on January 7th. So he's sued or realizes he's being sued on December 24th, and he countersues on the 7th, claiming extortion. Does any of this, you think, play into the rationale of why the hell we're doing the first Nitro at the Mall of America?
This all happened before the Nitro, right? You're talking about the January before the Nitro.
No. She files lawsuit. This is September of 95. She filed lawsuit, or he was served on Christmas Eve, 95.
All right. So I can't see why. I can't see how you can draw a correlation to this.
Okay.
Are you trying to say that we had it at the Mall of America?
Because that's where his side bitch was.
What's that again?
I think it was at the Mall of America because they wanted to get out of the South, like you said. Yeah. They needed a venue. They didn't think they could sell out an arena.
Okay.
Hogan had been spending time here for his Pastamania thing, plowing his side bitch, Kate Kennedy. And you just made a face, but I'm just freestyling. I mean, these are public records. And he has Bischoff's ear, and he says, hey, man, we could hold it here. It would be good because she's public relations for the fucking mall.
Right.
Am I just making all of this up?
Well, first of all, I tend to side, and I know there's a lot going on with guys on the road and women and stuff like that. I understand that. But when they sue Hulk Hogan, I tend to first, all of a sudden, my antennas are up, and I feel extortion because he's a big star. He's got a lot of money. I feel that. But I may be a stupid here, but I fail to see any correlation between the Kennedy girl and having it at the Mall of America.
She's in public relations at the Mall of America.
Oh, to appease her?
It makes her look good if it's here, brother. You'd be doing me a solid, brother. Might get to do butt stuff, brother.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Whatever happened to, and again, anytime there's a lawsuit, I completely turn it right off. Whatever happened to that lawsuit?
I mean, I imagine it went away.
Yeah. Okay. So in Discovery, what did they find out, counselor? Was he really fucking this girl?
Well, let's run through this. He had to have a talk with his wife about it. If it was total bullshit, I don't know that he'd have to have a talk with her about it.
Oh, yes, you would.
No, because Linda wrote in her book that her spidey sense went off. She remembers the lady specifically, what she looked like, what she was wearing, the oddness, the weirdness of the conversation.
Well, maybe the girl was fishing for some dirt.
Here's the deal. Hogan admits to Linda in Linda's book that Kennedy went to his hotel room and that while he said he didn't cheat on her, he did cheat on her. Whatever that means. I'm going to guess Hogan.
Well, he said, I didn't cheat on you, but I did cheat on you?
Well, read Linda's book. It's in there.
Okay.
Anyway, I just need somebody to tell me how nobody has connected all of these dots. This chick works in public relations at a fucking mall.
Right.
TNT is having their huge debut show where Hogan has a restaurant, and this chick works at 1 + 1.
Yeah, okay. It seems logical. It seems absolutely logical. I'm going to agree with you.
So let me ask you this.
I don't know.
What side bitches were at La Vila for those shows?
Okay, you tell me, Mr. Dirt Sheet, what have you heard?
Nothing. Listen, nobody's ever said any of this happened. Yeah. I'm just trying to freestyle.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, what you're saying is pretty logical, if you ask me, because as a result of all this, or not as a result, but you're saying all this because Hogan had a tremendous influence on Eric Bischoff and the business, our business at that time.
Sure.
So that's why you're connecting all the dots.
Hogan's got a lot of influence with what's on TNT before Nitro, where the first Nitro's at, who's in the headline program there. In one of the spots on the show, they're going to promote his restaurant.
It's probably all in his contract, right?
I mean, I don't know if it was contracted that he got to beat out the PR ladies at the buildings. I mean, I don't know.
Not what I'm saying.
No, but
You know what? And let me say this to all of our listeners. As you know, I'm back into this after being out of it for quite a while. Conrad Thompson has pulled me back into this business. I was, I never used to cuss at all.
Oh, fuck you.
The first time I ever said the word fuck that I can remember was our first broadcast. Now
you use it like a comma.
Now I can say that this fuck from Alabama has got me thinking about all this. I can't, man, that's some good shit, Conrad. We ought to write some sort of show together.
I think we're on it right now.
I think we are too.